Hello, everyone, and welcome back to a brand new episode of Da Boys Fantasy Football Podcast, a podcast that only talks about our league. I have hopefully a fun episode for you. I've been thinking about it for the last day or two. Man, I can't fucking wait to record. Got vibe check, wild gossip segment, at least I hope. Who knows how long I'll rant for, but we finally got some gossip this week, so I'm excited. Many trades to get through in trade talk. I've got complaining corner, DBL game of the week recap. No Zach starts of the week this week. I'm sure this league will have plenty throughout the season, but this week didn't really see too much to really make a segment out of it. Braden, I'll ignore Rashad White. You ended up pulling off the win anyways. Pretty much everybody scored in that Bucks Ravens game, so it's you kind of get a pass, except for Zay Flowers. Sorry, Tyler. And honestly, the sit kind of made sense. Anyways, back to to what I was saying. No Zach starts of the week, and then we finish up with feeling myself. No guest this week. I have plenty to talk about, and there's no reason to bring somebody on in an interview style setting and make them awkwardly talk about their team. Let me do this whole thing. Solo pod, let's go. All right, vibe check. As I alluded to a little bit earlier, I'm going to talk about this all in the gossip segment, but we finally got some drama. So the vibe is drama, tensions are high, feelings are sensitive to everyone. We know that BP is sensitive. We know that the commissioner can't hold back his emotions and feelings and yelling at everybody. We know that. But this week was one of the weeks where this is why the podcast exists. This is why this league is so great. It's for all the drama and for this exact controversy trade situation. But first off, let's talk a little bit about what happened this week. I am right now, as of Monday Night Football, I am recording this on right after the games. Normally I do it Tuesday, kind of let the app or the website formulate the rankings, let a day's worth of thoughts tinker around in this brain. And then I, put together something and come out with a podcast for Tuesday night. I'm going to Disneyland tomorrow. Or I'm traveling. So I will not be able to do that tomorrow. So we're having a late Monday night. We're drinking. We've got Oktoberfest going. I watched both of the Monday night football games. Been having a great little night to myself. I sent out a text earlier today. These two Monday night games were not only crucial, they were very crucial to every single matchup. And I will post it here. But basically, I sent the whole group message text today that said Austin needs 24.49 points from Kyler Murray and Derrick Henry to beat Peeler. Zach needs 38.15 points from Lamar Jackson, Isaiah Likely, and Justin Tucker to beat Justin. Sorry, drinking beer in a pod. That's why they don't do it. I said Jared needs 22.67 points from Trey McBride to beat me. Tyler needs 16.89 points from Zay Flowers, Chargers defense, to beat Dakota. Braden had a lead with James Conner and Dicker versus Godwin and a kicker. The favorite in there was likely because of that 13 points. Braden should have won that. Was kind of how I sent the text. And then our game of the week basically came down to Herbert and Dobbins versus a 13-point lead, Baker Mayfield, and Mark Andrews and Bucky. So that one was pretty obvious. We knew Donald was going to win. Sure, we all watched the Monday night games. Lamar Jackson got it done for Zach. 34, and Tucker with 13 takes down Justin. Zay Flowers got it done for Dakota because the only player on Monday Night Football that did not perform was Zay Flowers. Zay Flowers played good last 2 weeks. Tyler had to start him. It was a smash play. This game was born to be a blowout. Zay Flowers does absolutely shit. played most of the game, kind of got hurt in the first quarter, but came right back. Team sneaky. Dakota's team sneaks off with another win 2 weeks in a row, living up to the name. Dakota had no business winning this week. Tyler does it again. Tyler loves giving away wins when he's absolutely should and supposed to win, and did it again here. Everything went wrong for Dakota, and Dakota still found a way to pull out a win. Tyler comes up short. Total of 72 points were scored in that Monday Night Football game, and Zay Flowers didn't get anything. It's mind-boggling. Mind-boggling. If I was a Zay Flowers owner, I would be very, very upset. It makes no sense what happened. Very good insight for you there, by the way. I would be upset. Derrick Henry, middle of the fourth quarter touchdown, gives Austin the win. Also got help from a fourth quarter Kyler Murray scramble. Austin pulls out that win over Peeler. Tight matchup, tight game. Both teams 4-2. Very much needed this game to kind of just assert the dominance within the league. And I thought it was a really good matchup, though it probably should have been game of the week. It wasn't, and we ended up getting a absolute dud out of the worst team, two worst teams in the league. Making that game of the week, Mister's game of the week, gave us just a wonderful situation. Again, coming soon. Justin kind of had a blunder week. Not to just continue to update the podcast and the world that is on the status of Justin's team, but I did want to just say I made a point about Justin's team last week. Just everything going right. This week, not so much. Everything kind of went wrong. Jane Daniels gets hurt. Jameson Williams gets one target. Jameson Williams now has a suspension, broke tonight. He will be missing 2 games. And yeah, Justin's kind of in one here. Bijan looks great. He's got a couple other pieces, but this is the team that, you know, when you wanted to nitpick, that this is kind of what we're talking about. Zach put up a beatable game, but Monday night he had his studs perform, and that's really what matters. Donald wins. I will save that breakdown for the DBL segment, but he came within a point of top score. Absolutely stellar performance from the guy. Even had Ayuk with a measly nothing points and is hurt and probably going to hurt Donald this point forward, but still managed to score 142 points. Congratulations to Donald on his first win of the season. His team is a wagon with these posts. Yeah, you're like, I don't remember Donald having Brandon Ayuk. We'll get there. Donald made a huge trade this week. We'll break it down later on. All right, let's talk some gossip. We finally have some real gossip. I even literally said it last week. I was like, what's the difference between vibe check and gossip? I don't really know. There really hasn't been any gossip. Immediately right away, chaos ensues. We got some Mister action this week. Boy, did we. First of all, I want to say I'm not going to air out like screenshots of anybody. You know, I don't believe in that. I think that's a real bitch thing to do, especially when I'm like, I made this podcast. Like, I'm not going to put screenshots on here. But I may allude to things during this next part here that I'm summarizing up what people have told me over text. And hey, I get it. This whole thing's messy. This league is messy. This is why I love this league. I believe in the reason why this podcast exists was for situations like this that need to be aired out. Like, the world needs to know about these situations because they don't have shit go down like this in their leagues. I just want everybody to say it's all love. There's literally, we're all friends and everything, but things get chippy at times. And yeah, we're grown men arguing about fake football. I love it. And we all do. So let's get to it. What the hell am I talking about, right? To set the stage, just one more little last tidbit that I feel is important to this whole thing. Prior to this year, we have established in this league that trades do not need to go through a league vote trade approval process, right? Usually that turns into everyone not doing it, not caring, and then you get 3 or 4 votes, or people just being assholes and turning down trades just because they don't want that team to get better. We're all good enough at this shit where any trade that happens, I have established this fact. Any trade that happens, we are all good enough to live with the consequences. If somebody sucks that bad enough to get trade raped, that's part of the game. And if you are on the other side of that and able to pull off a trade rape, that's good for you. That's part of the game. That's why we do this shit. When we side text and we're buttering up our guy, knowing he's ass, buttering him up, Tyler Jordan Whittington is going to be the next Cooper Kupp in this offense. We're doing that, right? So we've got our bobber on the water and we're trying to get bites, right? If you're able to pull off a trade rape, good for you. So what we've done is change that overall rule to commissioner veto only. Meaning if there truly was a situation where somebody is colluding or it's just trade rape altogether and it's really, really bad, the league amongst themselves would talk so much shit that the commissioner would have to get involved and overrun that rule, overturn that trade. All right. We all know that. Now that's our knowledge, right? Everyone listening to this is people that are in this league. They're like, God, dude, just get the fuck on with it. But if you're new here, I feel like that's vital to this entire thing. So the bomb drops. Wednesday morning after the podcast, trade goes down between Mr. Griggs and Kyle Peeler. Kyle Peeler gets Travis Kelce, Jamar Chase, Najee Harris, Marvin Harrison, and Mr. gets Stephon Diggs, Tony Pollard, J.K. Dobbins. Clearly one-sided. First initial reaction, right? Immediately bomb drops. Everyone says, wow. There's a lot of big name heavy hitters in this trade, right? You've got Diggs. You've got Kelce, dog shit. You've got Jamar Chase, Marvin Harrison, Najee Harris. There's big names being traded right now, right? Immediately trades, the group message is going off about wow, holy shit, wow, holy shit. Rave support, almost applauding Kyle Peeler via instant reaction. I even said Peeler won the trade, but somehow Mr.'s team got better, okay? Why do I know that? Because first thing I do when I get this trade is I approve it. And I've been doing that all year long. I've been approving the trades right away. I screenshot it, send it to our group message. Years past, I'd leave the trade up there for like 2 days, wait for the computer to process itself. I found it to be annoying. I was like, let's just process these things earlier. The only reason I really liked to have that out there was for the people that are working at the gym, whatever, they could see what went down in the league. The trade was right there. They didn't have to go and figure out what's on each other's teams. It was 2 days to look at your app and see what was done, what was traded. So I screenshot it and I send it into the group message. We're going nuts about the trade. Several different group messages kind of simultaneously going on. A lot of people started to give congrats to Peeler, just like, wow, how did you do it? Fucking holy shit. Then the following text was sent, basically sending me into a raging tailspin. Mr. Griggs sends the following text. I hope Peeler wins the chip. Congrats to collusion. Handshake emoji. It fucking rattled me, boys. It rattled me to the fucking core. I felt something in my bones that I haven't felt in a long time. Since I got a text in the 7th or 8th grade that said, meet me at C Strand. I haven't felt like that. I even said it. I said, somebody talk me off a ledge. Now, if you're friends with me, you should have came to my rescue there. All I did was question. I said, collusion? At that point, Mr. started talking shit. At this point, he could see I was going into it. He rattled me even further. He was being funny. Everyone was kind of laughing and supporting that side. All I did was, at that point, I said, hey, this trade is under review. Again, this is all in the group message, okay? I just said this trade is in a 24-hour review. I will hear both sides, both arguments. Again, this is just in review. I didn't say it was overturned. I didn't say anything. I asked for arguments, and what I got was arguments, so I guess I shouldn't be surprised. But I just want to explain how we got to that point that it was. I claim that the trade was in review. It was approved minutes after the trade was sent. So I felt as if I may have just shot from the hip. Maybe I should have looked into this and I should have reviewed this. I had several side texts asking me, why the fuck is that trade going through? That is insane. Makes no sense. Mr. had to be throwing it. Those trades exist, those texts exist, everybody. So I said, I just want to make sure, and if it's a trade rape, if it's just a bad-minded Mr. Griggs or Peeler, whatever side you're on, if it's two people making bad mistakes, fine. But if it's collusion, which was suggested by one of the persons in the trade, collusion was suggested, and then also it feels like it at that point, that makes sense. The guy's 1-5. Possibly he wants to tank this whole season and possibly wants to give it to somebody that he favors. If you talk about the exact logic of the trade itself, Mr. had literally 4 tradable pieces on his entire roster. Jamar Chase, duh. Najee Harris playing well for the past 3 weeks, definitely not the problem. Kelsey, name value, it's a nothing burger, but still big part of wow, this trade is crazy. And then Marvin Harrison, again, not playing very well at all, but has a name value, has had one good fantasy week, probably not going to play on Peeler's roster. That's the logic that was starting to go through everyone's mind. Yes, Mr. Griggs has 2 running backs now with Tony Pollard and J.K. Dobbins and Stephon Diggs. So Stephon Diggs is slightly a downgrade from Jamar Chase. If you're doing that math in your head, now he has 2 running backs instead of 1. He doesn't need Travis Kelce because he sucks. And, I get the logic now, hindsight. But at the time when collusion's being accepted, and now you're thinking about Peeler's team that now has Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, and Tyreek Hill, and Najee Harris, and Alvin Kamara, you see that super team, you see that stack, and you're like, holy fuck, what if he did just collude there, right? Again, he suggested colluding. So Peeler sends this message.
Everyone wants to talk shit to the guy that's trending upwards, right? It's just the world we live in. Couple things. One, BP, get off your fucking pedestal. All right, you need a pacifier lately. 2, the trade's not that fucking bad. Granted, the names may be a little lopsided. Marvin Harrison Jr., he ain't fucking starting on my team. Kelsey, let me quote the commish, Mr. Podcaster. There's not a tight end in football nowadays worth of shit in fantasy football. So you shouldn't be caring about Travis Kelsey. 3, I have no fucking running back depth anymore. It's Kamara and that's it. Yes, I have Jamar Chase. Yes, I have Justin Jefferson. Yes, I have Tyreek Hill, who knows what to expect with him. Mister's getting 2 bona fide ones at running back to help him hopefully beat Donald this week. I think Mister has said all year that he wasn't trading. I personally think he's not trying to get last fucking place, and he's scraping the bottom of the barrel right now, trying to get some wins. If this fucking thing gets vetoed, I am going to lose my fucking mind.
Listen, high horse or not, joke or not, I am the commissioner of the best football league, and it is my job to make sure there is no collusion. I'll say that until I'm blue in the face. I can review anything I want. I can say I can overturn, call it power hungry, call it whatever. I never have, but I will make sure for the betterment of the league, I will make sure that that never happens on my watch, at least without me trying. Mr. even clowns that we were using trade analyzers to talk shit about his trade, right? So his trade goes out. People are throwing out their rotortrade.com screenshots. He called out that my posting to my Instagram story has never been done before. First of all, or 50th of all, Mister's Game is DBL Game of the Week. We're talking about everything you do, every little trade, every little transaction. I'm talking about it. So, yeah, I put it on the story. I needed a lot of people to hear it. I needed a lot of people to see it, and they did. Performed pretty well, too, by the way. I was always going to make a big deal out of every single league. There was tons of drama. I was mad at everybody for not siding with me and taking my back, even though on side text they were very against the trade. But then time kind of calms everybody down. I still feel like getting Jamar in doesn't matter what else is included. You got Jamar Chase. That means you won the trade. And that's fine. And it's okay. I never overturned the league. I never overturned the trade. But a conversation was to be had. And immediately, my back was against the wall as a commissioner, once again taking bullets from everyone, even though they were the ones that did the fucking trade analyzer. They were the ones saying this was a trade rape. They were the ones saying veto. And I'm the one that's just trying to diplomatically go about my business. And, obviously I'm the bad guy, but that's okay. I'll be the bad guy. So that's it. I mean, looking forward at the trade, trade talk, I'm going to skip it because we've talked enough about this situation. But post-trade results, both Peeler and Mister lost. Okay, they both lost. Peeler still won by simply giving his team the stack of Jamar Chase, Tyreek Hill, and Justin Jefferson. That's going to be tough to beat come playoff time. Tyreek Hill's getting Tua back. Who knows what happens there, but you got to think it's got to be better than what's coming. Welcome to the Travis Kelce experience. I'm doing a victory lap on my Travis Kelce takes. You need you're going to be stuck with him all year long. You're always going to play him because he's Travis fucking Kelce. But I have fun with that, dude. Mister's team best player now is Stephon Diggs, okay? Now, hindsight, post-trade, hindsight 2020, obviously, but this is why motherfuckers were so mad. This is why, Mr. Griggs, listen to this. I know you don't listen, but listen to this. Stephon Diggs is now your best player on your team, and if you look at your roster, this is what the worst team in the league, a roster looks like. When we were talking about Donald's team last week, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, losing to the top scorer, Donald never had a roster that looked like the worst team in the league. Your team now very much looks like this. Justin Herbert, Tony Pollard, Dobbins, Stephon Diggs, Tank Dell, Hunter Henry, Romeo Doubs, Raheem Mostert, Smith-Schuster, Taysom Hill, Anthony Richardson, droppable, Sean Tucker, Braylon Allen, Ricky Pearsall. There is nothing to be excited about on there. If you win more than one game the rest of the season, it's a fucking miracle. And that is probably the last we'll have. So Mr. was upset for being in the limelight this week. And again, this pod is primarily about you and the decision that you have made. This probably will be the last we hear about your team. There's nothing to talk about here, and I am declaring it October 21st, the day Mister's team died. Overall, a trade was basically threatened to have a veto, and it caused a lot of shit. That's pretty much all. I know I felt a lot of stress from it. There was that day was a wild day in the group chat, and then after that, we had a bunch of trades happen immediately after that. Trade talk. Yes, there were other trades, not just Mister and Peelers. So let's get into them. Donald and Dakota pulled off a trade the same night that the other trade happened. Dakota sends Mark Andrews, Brandon Ayuk, Bucky Irving, all to Donald. DJ Moore, Darnell Mooney, and Rico Dowdle back to Dakota. So Donald assured me that DJ Moore was not for sale and he was going to ride or die with him. So I haven't ever tried for DJ Moore since like week 3. And he goes and gives them to Dakota basically for Brandon Ayuk, Bucky Irving, and Mark Andrews. The other parts of that trade was Darnell Mooney and Rico Dowdle. I consider those kind of nothing. Essentially, Dakota was looking for DJ Moore. That's what he wanted, was that big 3 to bring along with Cooper Kupp and CeeDee Lamb. I think that's a solid big 3. That's a good receiver core. So Dakota, that's what he was really after. He kind of punted this week, really going for a situation where he knew he was in trouble with a bunch of buys, and he just really was looking to take advantage of a buy. He knew he was going to lose. He ended up stealing a win. So how about that? Donald, on the other hand, it was a smart move, and it appeared like he was winning. Brandon Ayuk losing or tearing his ACL, that's obviously a crusher for Donald there. Mark Andrews turned out to be a stud for him on Monday night. Bucky Irving looks like he's the starter there in Tampa Bay. Even though Rachaad White did have a good game, Bucky Irving is the more explosive back. Overall, fair trade. This is how it's done, boys. I mean, a little bit of each team got what they needed. And I would slightly give the edge. I mean, you got to give the edge to Donald, right? Like, he pulled off a win because of this trade. Mark Andrews and Bucky Irving, even if Mr. did put up a good performance, he wasn't never going to beat 142, and Donald put up 142. So congrats to Donald. But overall, good trade. Good trade, boys. So then, immediately after that, I start wanting to get involved. Me and Zach start talking, a lot of other talks. You can tell people are rumbling about making trades. I shoot my shot for Davante Adams. As you guys remember in last week, I said that I wanted Davante Adams. Yeah, so I shot my shot, and I did think it was going to get shot down right away. He said, "Oh God, no," to the same exact trade for me getting James Cook. James Cook kind of was cheeks, and even this week still didn't play very good, but he said, "Oh God, no." So I thought, let me just see what happens. Let me try to get Davante here. He gets James Cook and DK. I get my guy in Davante Adams. Trade remorse. It gets accepted immediately. Like, I send it, it comes right back. I said, what the fuck? Oh no. So it gave me immediately trade remorse. I mean, I felt like I fucked up. I probably shouldn't have done that. I did give away all my depth, and now I'm forced into Kareem Hunt. And Peeler's right. I did. I don't have any backup running back. Peeler, after talking shit about my trade, goes and makes a trade the following morning for 2 running backs, giving up Marvin Harrison and Dallas Goedert. So if you remember back to the last segment, I said Peeler got Marvin Harrison, immediately shops him, flips him over quickly to who was this? Jared. Jared had 2 running backs, Devin Singletary and Tyrone Tracy. Basically the New York Giant backfield. Hindsight, neither of them did well. Neither did Marvin Harrison or Dallas Goedert. So this was a nothing trade, but I did think it was funny that this was literally just Peeler making this move because he was roster baiting so hard to his roster. Like, Marvin Harrison ain't going to fucking score. I need to gear up for the playoffs. I need a running back. Let me get Devin Singletary and Tyrone Tracy. And then they suck. So BP's complaining corner. Guys, just me being me. I'm complaining that I know, and I'm very, very well aware of the person that I am. Sometimes it's not fun to live with this brain. I'll never be able to change who I am. But having this outlet through this podcast allows me to express myself. I promise you, nothing I say or do as a commissioner or as a friend in these group chats or group messages are with malicious intent. I definitely cause a lot of problems, and I'm aware of it, and I know that I have a good heart, and if I am arguing with you, it's because I genuinely believe what I'm saying. And now with the added element of the podcast, I might be trying to stir up some fucking shit for the podcast. But again, I'm not malicious. I'm just crazy. All right, DBL game of the week. Last week, DBL GOTW. Donald finally pulls off a win. Now he's 1-6. With the help of that trade, Donald comes within 2 points of the top score to beat Mister. Puts Mister in the dirt. Donald will no longer be in last place. Points for this difference, same record, points. Donald's got 175 points on the guy. I mean, I don't think Mister has a chance to really jump Donald, but he could be possibly jumping, Tyler, me, whatever other team that's going to be next in that rankings. Because honestly, I think Donald's in a good spot to make a bit of a run. I don't think playoffs, but I do think he's in a good spot. So what happened in the game? Josh Jacobs, Kenny Walker, and Amari Cooper pretty much wrapped the game up early in the morning Sunday games. Because at the same time, Diggs, Dell, and Tony P only combined for 15 points. Those were literally Mister's stars. If they can't get more, he needed 50 from those guys easily to stay in this one. Now, he ended up playing pretty well. Like, he had the tight end come out and play well, the kicker defense combo. He ended up scoring 90, but Donald scored 142, as I've said many times. And this was never really close. For a game of the week, this was a poor choice. But I wanted the added drama of Donald getting a win. I wanted us all to collectively, maybe making him the game of the week, ruin that streak that we had, that 6-game losing streak to the top scorer. I felt like he needed some eyes on him, and I think we did that, especially with that added trade. Thanks, Mister, for making that bonehead mistake, because it did give something to this game. It gave a little bit of firepower to this game that it really wasn't getting from anywhere else. And then speaking of, next week, we are going to vote on the DBL game of the week. I am not doing this shit where I tried to predict what's going to be the intense, crazy game. I'm going to use everyone to get involved on that. Whether it be social media, I'm going to ask the group chats, what do we think is the best game here? So we're going to vote on it and, try to get that matchup that comes down to Monday night. Trying to get that matchup that maybe the owners will talk a little shit, whatever the case may be. That's really what I'm looking for with this DBL game of the week, is I am looking for a little bit of participation from my league members to help me out, build a segment into something that is funny and that grows. Whether that's pregame shit talk videos, talking your start sit-ems through openly and outwardly, talking about the different matchups that you think are good and where you think you can exploit them. Those are the kind of things I'm looking for. I'm not looking for you to be the funny man on the podcast. I'm not looking you to come on and do an interview. I just want a little bit of banter, a little bit of shit talk. That's all. But either way, we're going to vote on it this week. So stay tuned throughout the group chats. Stay tuned. Maybe social media, I'm going to get involved. Let's see what we can do with this segment and grow it into something fun. All right, finishing off with feeling myself. I got the win, boys. It was nuts. Okay, first of all, this was the most fun matchup probably that I've ever had. Anytime you score 140 something points, it's freaking sweet. Roller coaster, simply the roller coaster that I went on. Thursday night, Javonte Williams drops 25 points. Javonte Williams was literally he had to start him because I don't know. I don't even know what he's thinking. It was borderline a bad start. And Javonte Williams goes the fuck off for 25 points. If you're getting that, plus you have Saquon versus the Giants, you have Jahmyr Gibbs, you have A.J. Brown that's back, C.J. Stroud in a potential shootout, you've got Trey McBride. I'm fucking cooked. If Javonte's scoring 25, even sends, a text. Jared sends me a text. Says, I can do the same time for top scorer of the week. I can schedule a interview with you. Obviously, clear shit talk, and boy, do I respect it. I love it. Okay? And me calling it out right now is bullshit because I love and I pray when I tell people they need to talk more shit when they're up in games. What does it matter if you lose? What is it? Some fat asshole going to bring it up on a podcast and say that probably shouldn't have sent that text? No, I'm not going to say that because I loved it and it fired me up. Okay. I went to sleep and I woke up with a fucking vengeance. Brian Thomas scored 22 points. Absolute star. Dare I say the best rookie wide receiver in the league. Yeah, I said that shit over Malik Neighbors. Yeah, I said that shit over anybody else. Marvin Harrison. Brian Thomas is a fucking star, and I knew it at the draft. Brian Thomas Jr., baby. BTJ. Let's go. Next, I start to get a little bit of belief. First quarter goes down. Saquon, Gibbs, both sitting around 5 to 6. My projection goes up in the green compared to him. I'm projected to score like 150. I've got Jordan Love doing pretty well. I've got something else happening. And then all of a sudden, I literally opened the app. I said, wow, I might not be dead. I look up, put my phone down. I look up. Within 2 minutes of each other, Gibbs, Saquon, A.J. Brown all score. Saquon and A.J. Brown score back-to-back, like right away. Basically, Jared puts this one away on me. Scores 100 points first half of the morning games. And I'm pretty much feeling cooked. But I start to chip away. Defense in the second slate of games puts up pretty solid points. Kicker doing well. I now have Kareem Hunt balling 2 touchdowns. He starts to slow in scoring. Inching closer. Kareem Hunt. Okay, let's go. Now Kareem Hunt's balling. Going into Sunday Night Football, now I'm down 10 points. Down 10 points, Breece Hall and Devontae Adams, the guy I just fucking traded for. I swear when I say this, I have the text to prove it. I texted my brother and I said, I hope Vontae and Breece go off. I'm going to put the whole fucking league on notice, okay? I am going to talk so much shit if they both drop 40. The league is not on notice. My team is good. Better. They're playing good. I don't know if I'm a good team yet, right? I don't know if I'm a good team. I have issues to work out. But Vontae struggles, but Breece Hall is a fucking star, and he's the star I fucking knew he was going to be. So you can pound sand with any of those fucking trades that you guys might want to send now. You had 3 weeks when I was dancing around the issue of maybe trading him. That fucking train is past, buddy. The price for Breece Hall is too fucking expensive. Don't even bother. Phenomenal win. Ended up being up 22.87 points versus Jared. He had Trey McBride Monday night. Trey McBride didn't do much. 10 points. Shitty night. Didn't get it done for Jared. Jared loses a stinker. All in all, Jared puts up 130 points. You know, the came down to his quarterback was the only guy that let him down. C.J. Stroud is the main blame here. 5 points. He had Jared Goff on his bench with 18. He makes that start. I don't see any world where anybody's making that start, but that is the difference. And, I am feeling myself. I'm feeling really good. I yet to been fucked with buys yet. I have yet to deal with the running back situation. I did pick up Ray Davis. So now I'm a semi Bills rooter for, but now I need James Cook to die. And, there's always a trade you can make. I can always trade myself out of this. I just need the guys that I brought in to fucking ball. That's all I need. That's all I need. It's time to ball. It's time to go out and win some fantasy football games. And me being top scorer this week is a damn good start. Thank you, everyone, for joining this week's episode of The Boys Fantasy Football Podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, comments, please put them below.